Alrighty, I don't feel like this video is too late to make, but I'm going to do a quick recap of this amazing UFC fight night we got of Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. By the way, this wasn't here this morning. When I checked it this morning, it was still Blanchfield and Barber versus or whatever, and they didn't have this updated at all. But going through it real quick, I mean, here are some of the fights that we had, like a couple. I think we had 2 finishes on this fight card. I gotta be completely honest, I did not watch this whole entire fight card. This thing was something that I was passing in and out of sleep of. Terrible card, really bad fights overall around, and just not worth it. Not worth it, UFC. Why did we make this card? I know you already had fights scheduled and all these fighters were all ready to fight on this date and stuff like that, but did we really need this fight night this weekend? It only seemed to be negative press and, you know, notoriousness for the UFC and stuff. So, is notoriousness even a word to apply notorious fame onto something? Whatever. Anyways, Alice Ardeline wins by decision. Awesome way to start out the card. Next one, Bludjacki Oki, I'm sorry, versus Michael Aswell. Another decision fight. Moving up to one of our first finishes, Jordan Levitt versus Kurt Hallbach gets the submission in round 1. Decently impressive for Jordan Levitt. Doesn't do crazy amount for his career, to be completely honest. Probably should get Kurt Hallbach out of there now. I think he's been on a losing streak. Let me look at this. I have to look at this. I mean, 22-10. He's just been very wishy-washy. Yeah, he's going to be on a 2-fight losing streak now. So Jordan Levitt gets it done. Glad to see that. I wish we got to see Jordan Levitt twerking on him. Would have made this card way more entertaining. I remember tuning back into this fight because I was like passing in and out of sleep on this card. It was so bad. Rafael Filho versus Alan Nascimento. Again, another decision. Not good. Another decision on this card. Zachary Reese, Dusko Totorovic. He looks like a weird version of Sneeko. Like if Sneeko had a bunch of steroids and had some like facial surgery. Anyways, Ketlin Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. No one even cared about this. This is number 3 and number 5 right here. All right, fighting on a fight night that no one cares about or is paying attention to. Not doing a good job with the women's divisions here. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. You want your women's divisions to get more spotlight and more, you know, entertainment value and stuff. Don't be putting them on these crappy Apex cards. You got number 3, number 5. This is clear title, contention type ranking tier. Number 3 and number 5. Went to decision. I don't really care. Ketlin Vieira, Macy Chiasson. I don't really pay attention to them anyways. Whatever. Desmond Jacoby, great for him. He got it done early. Kind of had a slugfest at the beginning from what I saw from the clip, so awesome to see that. Ramiz Bashamaj Brahminaj. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. Submitted Billy Ray Goff in round 1. I missed this one, honestly, because again, I was falling asleep and waking up and like, oh, UFC's going on, right? Anyways, then we had Mateus Gamrot and Ludovic Klein. This was your main event, guys, and it was a bit of a stinker. Gamrot does his thing, man. He does his thing, gets the takedowns, gets the control time. He was definitely trying towards the end of the fight to do something, but just a really boring card. And then we get to the main event. Now this has to be one of the funniest and honestly saddest things too. Is like Macy did not even come out to fight. Music was playing and everything. Commentators are like, "Where's she at? What's going on?" Get word she's had a seizure apparently right before her walkout. Absolutely crazy. I don't think anything like this has ever happened. I think Chael Sonnen mentioned maybe Kevin Randleman slept on some pipes and stuff like that beforehand for like a pride fight or something like that, and they had to switch things up or whatever. But I think for all main event fights, there should be some sort of backup fight. If I'm being completely honest here, I understand if it's like a championship fight and there really is no one. But hey, even like they were able to get Arman Sarukian out of there and replace them with someone there. I mean, you should at least have one fighter in the wing to be like, yeah, I made weight. I'm all ready to go in case anything goes wrong in this main event. I'll take the spotlight and put myself up further in my career. There should be opportunities like that in case something like this happens. Obviously, this was very extremely last minute. This was literally right before they're about to fight. So I don't know. I can see a situation like with that where they can't even really get a replacement in time because of the broadcasting and stuff like that. Like they can, like they have their time slot. They can work. Is it time slot for fight nights? I don't know. Is it its own separate thing? I don't know. I don't know if they're only allowed to run in a certain allotted time, but like even if they did have a replacement, it would probably take them about like 30-40 minutes to get completely ready, and at that point they're just gonna call a fight, move on to the next thing. And yeah, I don't know what the, I guess it's just injury. There's no sort of like there's no sort of victory or draw or anything like that, or injury TKO, although it would be pretty funny if it was a injury TKO on Aaron Blanchfield's part over Macy Barber. That's pretty funny. How the UFC is going to treat Macy Barber is going to be pretty interesting. I mean, typically they treat the women fighters pretty well, if I'm going to be completely honest. Other than their spots on the card and placement on the card and stuff like that, sometimes they can get placed pretty far down, but maybe deservingly so. But either way, I don't think Macy Barber's going to face some crazy backlash. If anything, you're just going to have some fans on there that are going to make fun of her for getting her fake tits and for missing weight and all the stuff like that. Having a seizure, though, I don't think you'll find anyone like really getting that mad at her over that. I mean, that's something you just can't control. If you're seizing out, you know, spitting up foam and stuff like that before your fight, like, yeah, we're not getting you to the fight off this. So I'm really interested to see what exactly caused the seizure, or what kind of a seizure was it? Was it muscle? Like, I don't know. I'm interested to see what she's going to end up having to say at the end of the day for all this. But come on, UFC, man. At the end of the day, did we really, we're as a UFC fan, ask yourself, would you have gone last Saturday without this fight card? And I think for a lot of people, they're going to answer yes. I completely could have gone without this fight card. In fact, I would have rather seen these matchups on a, you know, numbered card or something like that. Something with a little bit more, you know, excitement and, you know, have other fights to look forward to in case something like this falls out. Because realistically, this should be, you know, I think the UFC, if this was not going to be a main event, this was going to be like a main card, either opener or second on the main card, or like prelim headliner, mainly because it has title contention applications. These are two young stars in the women's division, and they are decently popular enough. So yeah, man, I think they should have gone the other route of just having them on a main card or prelim, or high up on the prelims. That way, if it does fall out, now the whole card and event isn't ruined, you know? And, you know, I hate to be sexist or whatever, but we need to stop doing women's fight night main events. They're never going to if they can't headline a numbered event, and this has only happened once. That's because John Jones effed up a card. It's only happened on UFC 200 because John Jones and DC were supposed to be the headliners of that card. Amanda Nunes ended up having to take the headliner of the card. You know, if it was John Jones and Daniel Cormier, I'm sure 200 would be a lot more memorable, because Amanda Nunes and I think it was Miesha Tate was just no one really remembers that fight, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. And just a lot of these main event fights that they put on for these women in these fight nights, just even though you put them in the main spotlight, they end up getting overshadowed by the rest of the card or other things, because fans are already going to be like, ugh, find a main event for women, great, like, well, I know when to stop watching. Unfortunately, a lot of fans are like that. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish they got more eyes and stuff like that. But also, at the end of the day, too, women's MMA, gonna be honest here, they sometimes throw absolute stinkers that are worse than men's stinkers fights. I know sometimes men put on some pretty stinker fights, but it feels like it's about 40 to 30% of the time the women's fights are going to be a little bit of a stinker, a little bit of a grapple fest, a little bit of a, who's hotter, who do I like to look at more? And, I hate to say that, but unfortunately, this is just true with MMA fans. And as much as I'd like to live in the ideal world of, women are going to be at the top and they're going to be just as successful and get just as many eyes as the men, it's just not a real world. And I think the UFC needs to start breaking away from this a little bit and kind of accepting the reality of these fight nights, and either let's get rid of them and save these, women for, high profile. These are still high profile spots. Being in the prelim main event is a high profile spot. Being a main card opener or second opener are very high spots. And on a numbered card, you're more likely to get those views than if you're on some random Apex fight night card. Because Apex already just stinks. The word Apex just stinks. Both the video game and the fight location arena itself. The Apex just, brings like a sour, tangy, gross smell to it. And you're just like, it's the Apex. Dang it. It's Apex. Get rid of the Apex cards. Get rid of the women's main events. I'm sorry for the fight nights. Just get rid of them. They're not doing any good. They're not getting you numbers. They're not getting you good press. It's just not going good. But anyways, that is the video there. Hope you guys enjoy my little rant about this last weekend's fight night card. We got UFC 316 coming up. I'll do a little, I did a main card preview on my channel previously if you want to check that out, but I'm planning either tomorrow or Wednesday going through the full card, because there are some underrated fights on here. Start off with an opener like this, Quinlan Salkid versus Yanal Ashmuev. I'll talk more about this, but if you don't know Yanal Ashmuev, I'm going to highly recommend, this is a little bit off topic from what I've been talking about, watch the Patterson versus Ashmuev fight. Absolutely brutal, okay? And you'll see why I'm excited for this opener. But we'll talk about that in the next video. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and see y'all later. Later.